Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Kenshin. Finally, I got this guy right before I moved, like the day before I moved, so it's been a little while since I've had it, didn't get a chance to review it, but now we're doing it. And it's an interesting release. There's some good stuff about it for sure, there's some really bad stuff about it, and I'm curious what you guys think. If you already have this figure, let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. And otherwise, let me know at the end of this video in the comment section below what you think about it. But like I said, some good, some bad. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alrighty, before we get into the figure, let me show you my package. It has been a while, so I'm pretty excited to do that. It's a nice package. It's not bad. It's a little bit more simple, a lot more figure on the back than little tiny images that we normally get. So I like that. It is like fairly standard Figuarts packaging, but it has a good look to it. So I think you inbox collectors are going to be just okay. There, you'll be just fine with that. So that's nice. That'll do. Alright, for the figure, on the other hand, I was really looking forward to Kenshin. I thought he would be a great addition to the anime collection. And, well, I don't think great is the right word for this figure. But let's see. Maybe by the end of the review I will have my mind changed. Okay, so he stands roughly 14 centimeters to the very top of his head, and that's going to be roughly 5.5 inches. Okay, so here he is up against Darwin. Too small for Marvel Legends, but will fit in with your other anime figures just fine, your other SH Figuarts. You should be alright. Okay, let's do a quick question of the day. Have you seen the live action stuff, or haven't you, and did you like it? I haven't seen all of it yet, but I think it is just fantastic. It's some of the best live action anime adaptations ever, if you ask me. Okay, so let's talk about the figure. I thought when they first showed this that the top half looked decent and the bottom half looked horrible. And that's still mostly true. The top half has some problems I wasn't expecting, and the bottom half is even worse than I thought. So that sucks. As far as paint goes, there's very little. I mean, there's the stuff you need, like the white around the collar. There's some shading over here, maybe a little bit of shading right here on the red, but it's pretty sparse. There's not a lot going on here. The pants are just mostly kind of shiny gray plastic with no shading at all. The burgundy down here doesn't quite match the plastic up here, so that looks kind of iffy. There's shading in the hair, I'll give them that. Like, it's not a bad looking figure, it just feels like they could have done so much better. It's okay, it's just not, it's not where it should be. I don't know, Bandai's been really weird lately, making good releases and bad releases. Rurouni figures are great, Dragon Ball are average, One Piece are generally kind of bad. This one's somewhere in the middle, I guess, so far. You can see the scar and the face looks nice, but it's just so, I mean, Kenshin's kind of a big name in anime, and we don't have really any figures of him, and they finally get the license, kind of like what they did with Berserk, and it's just not up to snuff. It's not good enough. These legs look like Lego kit legs. I don't know what's going on. It looks like some kind of bad model kit. Like a lower quality Figuarts standard for the legs. So aesthetically speaking, it's just not good enough if you ask me. So I'm going to say 6. That's a generous 6. I like the head sculpt, the paints are clean on the head, but the rest of the figure just looks really, really awkward. And I'm not sure posing's going to fix it. We'll see as we go. As far as accessories go, you get 5 faces. The neutral face, a smiley, eyes closed face, kind of an angry face, another neutral kind of smiley face, and then the swirly-eyed face. Plenty of options there for hands, all the options you would need. For his sword, you do get the scabbard that clips onto his belt with the removable sword handle so that you can have it look like he has drawn his sword. You do get the whole sword piece, that's a nice sword, and then you get the interchangeable belt piece, so you get the little tab for the scabbard or not. And that's it. No swoosh effects or anything like that, so it's a fairly, like, they're fine, but fairly standard release, nothing particularly noteworthy, so I'll give them a 7 for that. It's not bad, but nothing great. Now, as far as the articulation goes, they did double ball peg in the neck, but it's just a tiny L-shaped double ball peg that the hair kind of clips onto the shaft of, and the hair moves around pretty well. It's okay. There's a little ball in there, I believe, and then that little clip, so it moves around okay. The head itself on top of the neck doesn't move very well at all other than rotation, but the neck moves nicely on a ball peg, so I think you'll probably be able to pose him pretty well. Not super dynamically, though. It seems more limited than it needs to be. I think this figure is a really good example of over-engineering, and you'll see as we go through the articulation, they just took such a simple thing and really, really overworked it, if you ask me. By the way, new lighting setup here, obviously in the new place, so if things don't look quite right, just bear with me. We'll get that figured out as we get a few more reviews under our belts. Okay, so let's see how the shoulders work. Can we raise the shoulders up? No. Nope. Nope, nope. You have a ball peg in there for the butterfly joint and then a hinge connected to that, but you can't raise the arm up all the way. So that's really, really limited. Going around this way, you can raise the arm up, but it goes up at an angle. It's way over-designed. The butterfly being on the ball is fine, but the shoulder joint inside and the way they've done this and everything around it, it just limits the posability way too much. And then they do all that to try to make it look good, but then they give you just a perfect straight cut. Perfectly straight, not perfect. Straight cut for the bicep swivel, which just totally destroys the look of the arm. If any figure ever needed a ball peg to be like, this should be all one piece, and then your bicep swivel should come at the elbow with a ball hinge on a ball peg. This cut right here is such an ugly design choice, and so not necessary, because you don't need this elbow to be a really big, flat, single joint that looks like that. A ball hinge right there without the cut would have accomplished everything you needed and not been hideous. And this is hideous. It's a really ugly elbow, and then you get a really ugly bicep swivel to go with it. Not a good look. The arm does wiggle around in the sleeve, so that'll help posability some. Otherwise, you just get your little ball hinge at the end. Pretty standard. If there's something inside the torso there, I don't think it... I don't know. I can't tell. It doesn't seem like there would be. If it is, it barely moves. But then you just get a ball peg down here. A double ball peg, I think. But you can... It's just gappy. Like, what the heck is that? What the heck? If he leans back, it's just immediately gappy. It's not so bad going forward. It has decent range. Like, it goes all the way around. But it's so gappy. And the belt floats, but... They couldn't figure out something better than that? I feel like they're not trying on some of these releases that people have been waiting for decades in some cases. It's so weird to me. Like Berserk, those figures are pretty solidly bad all the way around. The One Piece figures have been largely disappointing, and this one's kind of in the same vein. It feels half-baked, so that's a bummer. Anyway, let's look at the hips. I'm sure they're going to be good, right? They're not. Bringing the leg forward, you get that, which, like, you can probably make it work, but it's not an exceptional amount of range. Can we tuck that under to make it get even more? Yeah, if you tuck it under, you can get higher, so that's okay. So you can't just bring it up. You have to tuck the leg under the flap. So you can get it higher, I guess. It's still not the best range in the world, but it's fine. I just figured for as kibbly as it looks, it should have really good range. Bringing the leg back is okay. Going out to the side, nothing you can do about that. Very little range. Very, very, very little range. And the whole crotch area looks terrible. I don't know what they were aiming at here, but that is not sleek at all. The thigh swivel is minimal. And then the knees. The knees already look bad from the front, if you ask me. From the back, they look passable, but from the front, really rough. And then when you use them, I don't think that looks good. I think that looks horrible. That might be one of the worst knees ever, and we've seen baggy pants before on action figures that have been successfully executed. It looks nice at the bend back here, for sure, but the knee itself is rough. That's one of the worst things ever, I think. So that's bad. For the legs, you get a ball peg that lets the leg move around, but no nuance, no finesse in this, so if you look down there, it just looks ridiculous. It's flat with a big flat cutout with a ball peg showing, so... Helpful for posing, but you can't look at it because it looks really bad. And then a little tiny ball hinge, smaller than his little tiny ankles, which it should be a full-size ball hinge that is the full size of the ankle to give you better range and a better look. It's functional, but it could be better if they just did a bigger ball hinge. The ankle rocker's fine. Toe hinge on this guy is bad. That's not how you do a toe hinge. That's wrong. You don't want this big gap down here, and it's too far back on the foot. So that's just not right. It's just not right. So most of this guy kind of isn't right. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it certainly, I don't think, does the character justice. So his articulation rating is going to get only a 6 out of 10. It's way too limited for what it should be. It's way over-engineered, and it doesn't look very good. The joints are, like, this is some of the ugliest joint work we've seen from Bandai, maybe ever. So, yeah, that's a rough one. Pretty disappointed in that. Time for the final verdict. I'm going to say, if this wasn't a notable character, nobody would want to buy it. Being Kenshin, people are still going to want it. I don't think it's honestly that good. I think it's only going to get, from me, I have to say 6 out of 10. It's way too ugly. Those legs are horribly ugly. The shoulders don't look good. The bicep swivel doesn't look good. The elbows don't look good. And they don't function that well. His torso is too gappy and doesn't function all that well. I mean, it's fine, but it's nothing special. So yeah, there's just way too much sacrifice for not enough gain, if you ask me. But I'm curious to know what you guys think in the comment section below, so let me know, and we'll talk down there. But that's it from me, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day. Well, at least I will once we get things going again. But I do have thousands of videos already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.